Hello, hello, all of you beautiful souls, my Soulpreneur life, family, and friends. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff and this just hit me that I really needed to share it. So I stopped what I was doing and I came over here to record this to share it with you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kendra Bolden. I want to talk about turning pain into purpose, journeying through that. And I'm doing this because I'm feeling called to share this because I believe that we call out to the people that are in the collective that we are here to be of service to by sharing our story, by being honest and transparent. And that is a huge part of me as a person that I've integrated into my business, into how I show up and how I help other people, and just really being true to that. So here we are. I look crazy and that's okay. I'm rolling with it. Sharing my story in the past few years, oh my gosh, I was medically retired in September of 2016. I was a staff sergeant. I had all of the responsibilities, all of the accolades, the awards, like the huge resume saying how awesome I was during my time on active service. And I had all of the trauma to go with it, right? The trauma from childhood, marriage, military life, all of that. So when I was retired at 28 and I was trying to wrap my mind around being labeled a disabled veteran, a single mom, because I was divorcing my now ex-husband at the time, and I'm navigating all of these different avenues without the safety of my uniform, without the safety of that identity that I had become so accustomed to hiding behind, almost because it gave me strength. It allowed me to hide what I was feeling on the inside because people saw what I wanted them to see on the outside, the facade, the strong, the warrior, the person who was always so together, right? And so as I started to get out of the military and then out completely, because there's a transition process, I realized that I was redefining my purpose because my whole identity was being stripped away. It was being stripped away in a way that was so incredibly painful. And I had to learn how to navigate that, what that meant, what that was going to look like and feel like, and how I was going to feel pride in myself again. Right. I know that some of you can relate to that because I had a therapist even tell me during all of this, your purpose can't be another person. And when we were talking about this, we were actually talking about my daughter because I was a new mom and all of that at the time. And she was just explaining how, a lot of people go through empty nester syndrome when their children go to college or they get married or they leave the home and all of that, and they start creating a life of their own because their identity and their purpose has been placed inside of another person, place, or thing that can easily be removed or put somewhere else, right? So doing the work of turning inward, personal development, professional development, all of that, I became really fascinated with it. And I got really frustrated with the medical system, working with the VA and some of the health concerns that I had. That essentially put me on this process of where I started sharing my story. And in sharing my story online, sharing my story with friends, I started to realize that not everyone will encourage you to share your story because of their limiting beliefs or where they are, right? And I was brought up in very, very different types of homes. I was a ward of the court. I was with different family members. So everyone else had all of these different expectations. So, and in my marriage, it was very much like that. Like, we don't tell other people what's going on in our house because we're dysfunctional and toxic and unhealthy, and certain people didn't want to be seen in certain ways or certain lights, right? So all of that being said, as I'm sharing online, I had family and friends reaching out saying, I shouldn't be sharing this. I shouldn't be doing this. And it made me angry. I was like, why not? Why do I have to hold it in? Why is everyone always telling me to bottle all of this stuff in when I know that there's something more? I just can't find it because it's buried. It's buried underneath all of the secrets. It's buried underneath all of the trauma. It's buried, and I can't get to my purpose because it's buried. And I was in the pain of my story at that point, right? And so this is where I started to realize I was just going to start creating boundaries. Certain people were no longer going to have access to me while I navigated through this journey, this lesson, or this layer of uncovering, right? And allowing myself to transition into power. And as I did that, and as I made that shift in my mind, I'm sharing because I need to find my purpose and I can't find it sharing with people who have no interest in going where I'm going, and telling myself that that was okay. And what that did, I became a beacon of light for people who were like me. People started reaching into my inbox, into my DM, sharing stories of something similar, expressing how they too felt like they wanted to start a business, or they wanted to get out of a toxic marriage, or they wanted to get through the pain of their story and into motion, into that transition. And I started to realize pain is not exclusive to me. And I started to realize some of the really negative and toxic beliefs and patterns and things that had been programmed in me as a child, with all of those various caregivers with different backgrounds and different traumas of their own that they may have never worked through or identified, right? They were not my responsibility to process and get through for them, but I had to get through it for me. And so I started to do that. And I was reaching out to therapists, coaches, mentors, doing training, certification programs, all of these things so that I could start to unravel my mind and my heart and what interests me, what doesn't interest me, and why don't I'm not, okay, all right, like I hear about this over here, all right, this has come up a time or two, but I want to look and explore this. And when this failed, okay, all right, well, maybe I'll explore this over here, right? And giving myself permission to be terrible. Giving myself permission to be terrible, and reminding myself along the way, because it was really hard for my ego, it was really hard for my pride. I was like, Kendra, you were a private once before you became a staff sergeant, before you ever signed for your first communication shop, your commo shop that had millions of dollars of equipment in it, or before your first deployment, or before any of this, you had stepping stones to get there. So reminding myself that the experience prepared me for those larger roles, for earning the accolades and the cool things that I got to do. And then as I'm doing this in the civilian sector, right, and I'm realizing how many other women and a few men, but mostly women, were willing to come to me unsolicited. Many of them didn't know me, and just message me in DM and say, your story truly pulled my heartstrings. It really resonated with me. I've been feeling this. I've been experiencing that. How did you get through these things? And I started coaching people without realizing I was coaching people, just by sharing what it was I was doing and tapping into skills that I had learned in the military, skills that I had learned in life, to get them through what they were going through, just because they were asking. And then it got to a point where I realized I needed some sort of boundaries for that too, because I started to feel depleted, because there were so many people reaching out to me that I was sharing my stories, and I was doing these things, and I'm trying to help other people see that they're not alone. And I was magnetizing people who were kindred spirits, who were soul aligned, right? And it was like, what am I supposed to do with this now? How am I supposed to honor this? How am I supposed to live in my purpose? Because I know my purpose at this point is to help people, to be of service, to activate something within them, to tap into their greatness. An activator, a dot connector, whatever term you would have it. You guys know I'm not big on super like strict labels, but that is essentially what it turned into. And repurposing my previous, because I feel like our purpose shifts with us as we grow and expand, right? And so repurposing my previous experience and that purpose in that season of me being a military member, of being married, of doing all of those things, into what I was creating with trial and error. And I failed a lot initially in the beginning of business, and that transition, because not everyone operates the same. And going from Army life into civilian life, there was a huge, oh my gosh, I was a really good soldier, just know that. So trying to transition to the flux and the flow of civilian life and being more feminine than masculine, and understanding that I can honor my dark feminine just as much as I can honor the love and light part of my femininity, that divine feminine, right? And I really felt conflicted, because I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I was a healer because I was healing myself, right? Someone can relate to this. I knew I was a healer because I was healing myself, and that is how we become healers, is we do the work first before we can ever help someone else. So I was understanding that, but I was looking at what was around me. And it was all of these picture perfect Instagram posts, crystals, this and that. And I didn't resonate with any of it because I was in that dark feminine, that divine dark feminine that had anger and was a wild woman and wanted to rebel against the rules, right? Yes, I genuinely love and care for people. Yes, I'm still a part of that light. But why were people shaming me for having that dark, wild side that wanted to come out and rebel? Because they didn't honor it themselves. So that's where I really tapped into the idea of creating a space for me, because I refused to believe that there weren't more people like me out there. I absolutely refused to believe that. I said absolutely not. And so I kept showing up in that essence. And I kept becoming more clear and more clear and more clear on what it is I'm here to do and how I'm going to do it, and being okay with it shape shifting and morphing, which was hard for me because remember, I was Army before. So that structure was a huge part of my life, and being able to learn to go with that flow and those ebbs and flows, right? So all of that morphed into something so beautiful where I could help more people in a faster, a quicker amount of time because of how I was sharing it, and because I was establishing clarity. I was establishing boundaries. And so when I tell you guys that I can't wait for you guys to join Illumination, I can't wait for you guys to join this program, and we're going through all of these modules, right? It's because there is nothing more than love and a desire to help people with the tools that I've been sharing for these past few years now, in a way and in a community where not only are you seeing that you aren't alone, because there are other people, men and women just like you, willing to show up and do the work, to clear energetically, to establish boundaries so that they can get clear on whatever it is that they're doing. For some people, they are business owners. For some people, they want to be business owners. For some people, they are absolutely amazing in business, but if you don't clear out the energetic blocks, the mental blocks, the subconscious stuff, you're always going to have that upper limit block. So you can see the success, you can feel the success, you know you are doing all of the things to get the win, right? You're checking off all the boxes. And yet you still find yourself like, what the heck, man? Like, what the heck? I see it, it's right there. Why can't I grab it? And I walk you through all of these process, like this whole entire process, so that you can take yourself on this journey. Get clear, understand the block that you have. It may be an old block, it may be a new block, and process it in a way where you have understanding and clarity, so that when it comes up again, because you guys know how I am, but you guys know the spiral, like it starts in the middle and it goes out, 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 out. And as we're expanding, right? Like that's us. As we're expanding and we're coming out, there's going to be times where we repeat or we are reintroduced to a previous block. And that's where this magic comes in, because not only am I giving you the tools to recognize that block faster as soon as it's introduced, or maybe a moment or two after it's introduced, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. But now you understand how you got through it last time and what you can do differently now that it's being reintroduced, to prevent that block from actually stopping you, and clear it and move through it and go on to expansion. I hope that this is resonating with someone. I hope that someone is understanding my heart, because this is a really heartfelt program that I've put together. And yes, we do go over, it's 9 weeks for those who are wondering. So we have 9 weeks together. 2 of those weeks are integration. There's 7 live calls. We do healings. We do activations on each of those 7 live calls. You have a ton of bonuses. There's a lot of integration to help you with all of this process, because it's a lot of energetic work that is going to assist you in moving through what it is that your subconscious and your ego has been programmed to look for, right? They've been programmed to protect you. And sometimes protecting us looks like keeping us away from that good thing, because we've told ourselves it's not safe. We've told ourselves that that good thing, we don't deserve it. But in illumination, we dig deep and we understand what that belief is, why you have it, so that you can clear it and release it and reset it with something new. So just to recap, some of the modules that are within illumination. I'm going to read it because you guys know me and my brain. Those of you who don't know, I've had 3 brain injuries. So I love talking. I love sharing. I love channeling from the Akashic Records. I love helping people and being of service. But my memory, it takes a bit for me to remember some things. Okay, so we have a module on boundaries, grounding, and intention setting, because those things are vital. They are fundamentally vital in anything that you do, right? Who's ever had someone that trauma dumps on them? A lot of people are empaths and they don't realize it. And people are like, oh, I just love your energy. I just want access to your energy. I feel so good after I've talked to you. And then you feel depleted. You feel tired afterwards. You're like, oh my God, I need to go to sleep for a week after that conversation, right? Because they didn't ask if you had space to listen to their drama or trauma. They just started to share. It just poured out, word vomit, right? But I'm going to teach you how to have boundaries, both that you articulate and energetic boundaries, so that you can protect yourself from that. And also some techniques for after to help you ground, and really getting powerful intention setting and different modalities and tools and things like that, so that you can keep your energy yours and their energy theirs, right? And not be swayed by other people's whatever they have going on. And then we move into the introduction of the illumination process that I've put together. It's a beautiful workbook that I put together for you as well. And just some really great things that I was inspired to do to help you get through it in the future, so that you don't always need support, but that it's something that you can turn internally and just work through yourself. And then we're also going to uncover beliefs and identity. And the concept of this, and the idea of this being that as we grow up, as we have various caregivers and things like that, we can take on beliefs and values or fears that become ingrained in our belief system and how we're showing up, or how we're avoiding showing up in life, in business, right? It becomes a part of our aura, part of that signature, that energetic signature. So we get clear on those so that you can clear them out and show up in a way that is right and true for you. Then we shift into desires and dreams. Now that you've uncovered all of these awesome things about who your true essence is, who you are, what it is that who you are becoming. What are my desires? What are my dreams? What does that look like and feel like? Because it's different from when I was programmed to make my family happy, when I was programmed to make my spouse or partner or kids happy, or whatever the situation is, right? And then we take all of that and we shift into action, applying the illumination process. So you get really, really clear. And then we start taking confident action because you're gaining that clarity. And that being said, we uncover more about your mindset, the stories that are tied to that mindset, and the rewriting of those stories if they're out of alignment, if they're out of sync. Taking confident action in all of those things, because we can have all of the information in the world, but if we don't do anything with it, what's the point? I want you to really think about that. So often we say, oh, I can just go get all of this information online for free. Okay, have you done it? Or is it still sitting in a journal or a notebook? Or is it still sitting in your bookmarks? How often have you signed up for a course and then not done it? The intention for this program is also heavily infused with the collective and the community supporting one another, so that you see that you're not alone in this fight. You're not alone. So many people are fighting demons that they would never share online, that they feel that are exclusive to them, and they're not. So creating this community while you're uncovering all of these things allows for so much magic to happen. And then we transition all of that, all of what you're experiencing and going through and peeling back. And we say, it's time to grow your spiritual relationship with yourself. And that will be unique for you, of course, because I'm eclectic in how my spiritual relationship is with myself. But it's allowing you to tap into that aspect of you so that you're able to not only just get clarity, but form a true bond with that aspect of yourself. So, all of that being said, I hope to see you all in there. I really, really do. I'm so excited to share this, and I see why Spirit had me to share all of this today as I was getting myself together, and dogs and kids and madness and craziness. Because, ooh, my voice. Because I honestly just want people to. I just want people to understand that they're able to live and be their best self, and it doesn't matter what anyone else has to say. You're not limited by a title. Your purpose is not to come to earth and work in a cubicle from 9 to 5, go home, shower, eat, go to sleep, and then go do it again. That's not living, that's existing. There's a difference between living, exploring, turning inward and uncovering who you are, your purpose, and all the people that you're here to help and be of service to, and healing mental health issues and trauma and all of these imbalances in your belief system, and doing what it is that you're called to do for this collective on earth that you are here to be of service to and help elevate, help inspire, or instill hope in, right? And all of that happens when we get in front of more people and we practice and we fail and we get better and we do it again and again, and we share our business, we share our story, we share our journey from our story of pain into our story of helping other people win in whatever way that looks like. You could be a service provider, a product person, you could be a coach, a mentor, whatever it is. And with all of that being said, so then we shift into some of the bonuses that are really fun. And I have to admit, they were so fun to make. They were so fun to make. So there's a bonus masterclass, being seen in your soulfully aligned business. And you get super clear on your desires because we've just uncovered a new layer of you, right? So now that you've uncovered that new layer of yourself, it's about getting super clear on that essence of yourself in business. What does that look like? Or are you avoiding something? Is there something else that needs to be uncovered and healed, right? So we do, hold on, let me read this over here because you guys know my brain. So we have the bonuses, we have the bonus masterclass, the 7 activations and healings that we do live, plus additional bonuses and activations. So we have the clarity process and workbook, which we work through together, which is separate from the illumination process. So it's a second process that you're getting. Then we also have an opportunity to win a one-on-one session with me. Boop, boop, boop. Someone in the class is going to win that. And then you get, these are my favorite. This is what I was looking for because I named them, but then I don't remember exactly what I named them. I just know what they are. So we have the bonus crystalline self-love activation, the bonus heart-centered gratitude, alignment, healing, and activation, the bonus solar plexus activation. And all of this stuff, you can access this all on digital, all on your computer. So you have access to the workbooks, activations, healings, the classes and replays. I'm also sending everyone a bonus Akashic Records booklet that I created so that you can understand other ways to work within the Akashic Records if that's something that interests you, and having that private sanctuary to build that community and just really get clear on what it is that's next for you. Moving, shifting out of that pain story into, this is it, I'm here, I'm showing up, and it might change in 6 months, and that's okay, and I'm okay with it. I'm going with the flow because I know that I'm helping people along the way, right? So I really want to share this with you all, and Spirit, thank you for allowing me to share this. I'm so excited. Thank you. But I'm sending each and every single one of you so much love and gratitude and appreciation. And I hope to see each and every single one of you in the Illumination Group Program. Early bird I extended it because there's, oh yes, I extended it. There's the prosperity, wealth, and abundance activation and healing that is going on with the early bird discount, which is 50% off. And it all ends. I changed the date. I extended it for you all because of payday. What is it? November 21st. I had to look at the calendar. November 21st, 2021 is when the early bird special ends. I've extended it. So I have so much love for you all. And I'm going to end it here. So I will chat with you all soon. You know that you can reach out to me, ask questions and things like that. So I'll talk to you all soon. All right. Bye.